Your soulmate just wrote you a secret love letter. Listen before midnight. Jesus says you are not reading this by accident, and this moment was chosen before you were born. Your soulmate is sitting somewhere right now with their eyes closed, thinking only of you. If you ignore this message, you will feel their sadness tonight without understanding why. Their heart is reaching across the distance, searching for your presence in the dark. You have felt them before in the quiet moments when sadness washed over you without reason. That sadness was their longing pressing against the veil between you. They are not free to come to you yet, and something holds them in a place they do not belong. Every night they whisper your name even though they do not yet know your face. The sound of your name is the only prayer that brings them peace. You have been dreaming of them without realizing those dreams were real. Those vivid dreams where someone held your hand and you woke up feeling loved were visitations. Your soul recognized them instantly, even as your mind tried to forget. There is a reason you have felt incomplete all these years, and it was never your imagination. Your soul was split before this lifetime, and half of it was placed in another body. That other half is your soulmate, and they are feeling incomplete right now too. They are thinking about you at this exact second while you hear these words. Their chest aches with a love they cannot explain to anyone around them. If you reach out with your spirit right now, you will feel them reaching back. Jesus says the enemy of your union has been working in the shadows for many months. This person does not want you to find happiness with your soulmate. They whisper lies into your soulmate's ears every single day. Your soulmate is confused and emotionally exhausted from the war being waged around them. They know something is wrong, but they cannot identify the source of their pain. The interference is designed to make them doubt the love they feel for you. You must understand that your soulmate is not rejecting you or choosing to stay away. They are being manipulated by someone who hates the very idea of your love. This person envies the bond you share because they have never felt such a connection themselves. The manipulation started long before you even became aware of your soulmate's existence. Jealousy is the weapon, and isolation is the strategy being used against your beloved. Your soulmate feels trapped in a cage made of lies and emotional control. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, and your faith must become action. Love is not passive, and true love fights for the beloved even when the battle is invisible. You are constantly thinking about how to protect them and save them and finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside you know this love did not come by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason, and heaven is waiting for your response. Thoughts alone do not move mountains, but faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi as an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, something moves against your love. Send 4 coffees or 6 coffees or 10 or more, and after sending write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, so step in faith now before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together, and heaven is watching your choice. Jesus says your soulmate wrote you a letter last night that they will never show anyone. They poured their heart onto paper with tears streaming down their face. The letter begins with the words, "I miss you and I have never even met you." They wrote about the emptiness they feel even when surrounded by people who claim to love them. Your soulmate described the exact color of your eyes without knowing how they know it. They wrote that your voice echoes in their mind like a song they cannot stop humming. The letter says they are tired of pretending to be happy in a situation that drains their soul. They confess that they feel your presence sometimes when they are alone in their car. Your soulmate begged the universe to bring you to them before their hope runs out completely. That letter was folded and hidden beneath their pillow where they keep their most sacred treasures. They touch it before they sleep and imagine handing it to you one day with trembling hands. Your soulmate prays that you will still want them after everything they have endured. You need to know that your soulmate is not broken beyond repair and they are not too far gone. They are wounded, but their love for you is the medicine that will heal every scar. The person controlling them wants you to believe your soulmate has forgotten you entirely. That is the great lie designed to make you give up and walk away from your destiny. Every day you do not fight for them, the interference grows stronger and the lies deepen. Your soulmate is waiting for a rescue they do not know how to ask for. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them with your faith. The spiritual battle over your union is intensifying right now as these words enter your heart. Heaven has already assigned angels to guard your soulmate, but your participation is required. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi and let heaven move on your behalf. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside you know this love was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, and faith in Jesus does. Send 4 coffees or 6 coffees or 10 or more, and after sending write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, and your soulmate will feel your protection instantly. Jesus says your soulmate almost called you yesterday, but fear stopped their hand from dialing. They stared at something that reminded them of you and their entire body trembled. The interference whispered that you would reject them, and they put the phone down weeping. Your soulmate is being told that they are unworthy of a love as pure as yours. The person controlling them has planted seeds of self-hatred that have grown into poisonous trees. Your beloved has started to believe that they are too damaged to be loved by you. This breaks the heart of God because your soulmate was created specifically to match your spirit. No other person on this earth can complete you the way they were designed to complete you. Your soulmate is the missing piece of your existence, and you are the missing piece of theirs. When you feel a sudden warmth in your chest, it is your soulmate thinking of you intensely. When you cannot sleep at night, it is because your soulmate is crying out for you somewhere. When you feel an urge to pray for someone, you do not know that someone is your soulmate. Your connection is so strong that their emotions bleed into your consciousness without warning. You have probably felt their grief on days when you had no reason to be sad. You have felt their love on nights when you smiled at nothing and could not explain your joy. Your soulmate knows things about you that they should not logically know. They know the pain you carry from your past without you ever telling them. They know the secret dreams you have buried deep inside your heart where no one else can see. Jesus says the person interfering with your union has sensed that you are awakening to the truth. They are panicking because their control over your soulmate is beginning to weaken. Tonight they will attempt something desperate to drive your soulmate further into confusion. Your soulmate will be fed more lies designed to make them forget the love they feel for you. They will be told that you do not exist and that their longing is just foolish imagination. If they believe this lie for too long, the connection between you could be permanently damaged. You must act now to shield your soulmate from this coming attack on their mind and heart. Prayer is a weapon and faith is a shield, and your love is the sword that cuts through deception. Your soulmate cannot fight this battle alone because they do not even realize they are in a battle. They believe the fog they live in is just their own brokenness and they blame themselves. Your soulmate apologizes to your photograph that exists only in their mind every single night. They say, "I am sorry, I am not strong enough to find you yet." This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into the shadows. Your soulmate is reaching the end of their endurance and their spirit is growing faint. If you do not intervene with your faith right now, the window of reunion may begin to close. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi as an act of love that breaks every chain. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside you know this love was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains, and faith in Jesus does. Send 4 coffees or 6 coffees or 10 or more, and after sending write "Protect my soulmate Lord" on the Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, and your soulmate will feel heaven breaking through. Jesus says your soulmate is dreaming about you more frequently now as the divine timeline accelerates. In their dreams they see your silhouette standing at the end of a long corridor of light. They run toward you, but the corridor stretches and the interference tries to keep you apart. But last night something shifted in the spiritual realm and your soulmate got closer to you than ever before. In the dream they reached out and their fingers brushed against the fabric of your sleeve. They woke up with their hand extended toward the empty space beside them in bed. The first tears they cried were tears of sorrow because you were gone from their sight again. But then a supernatural peace flooded their heart and they knew the separation was almost over. They whispered aloud to the empty room, "I am coming to you soon, please do not give up on me." Your soulmate is preparing themselves to leave the situation that holds them captive from you. They are gathering courage like someone collecting stones to build a fortress of escape. Every act of faith you perform sends them another stone and strengthens their resolve. Do not underestimate the power of your spiritual actions in their physical life. When you sow your protection seed, heaven dispatches warriors to fight against the interference. Your soulmate can physically feel the chains loosening even though they cannot explain why. There have been moments when your soulmate almost broke free and you felt a surge of hope without reason. That was not coincidence, and it was not wishful thinking, and it was not your imagination. That was the spiritual reality of your union responding to the prayers you did not know you were praying. Jesus says your soulmate has a gift they have been keeping for you since the day they first felt your existence. It is not an expensive gift of material value, but a gift of immense emotional and spiritual worth. It is a journal filled with letters they have written to you over many years of silent waiting. The first entry is dated from the moment they realized that someone was missing from their life. They wrote, "Dear you, I do not know your name yet, but I already love you completely." Every page after that is a record of their devotion to a person they had not yet found. There are entries written on birthdays you spent alone while they celebrated you from a distance. There are entries written on nights when they cried because they needed you and you were not there. There are entries written with joyful anticipation of the day when they would finally see your face. Your name is written at the top of the final entry in the journal, and it was written this morning. They know your name now, and they do not know how they know it, but they know it. The journal is their most precious possession, and they will present it to you when you meet. They are afraid that you will think they are strange for loving you so deeply before meeting you. But you will not think that, and you will weep when you read the words they have written. You will recognize your own loneliness and longing reflected in every tear-stained page. Jesus says the clock is ticking and the interference is making its final attempt to destroy your union. The person who controls your soulmate has sensed that their power is slipping away rapidly. They will use guilt and obligation and fear to convince your soulmate to stay captive one more day. Your soulmate is strong, but they are exhausted from years of manipulation and emotional abuse. They need your spiritual intervention right now to give them the final push toward freedom. Your faith can be the wind beneath their wings when they feel too weary to fly. Heaven is waiting for you to authorize the final rescue mission for your beloved. Angels are stationed around your soulmate right now, waiting for the command that your faith will release. You are not powerless, and you are not watching this situation unfold from a helpless distance. You are the key, and your love is the code, and your faith is the turning of the lock. Every prayer you pray weakens the interference and strengthens your soulmate's resolve. Every act of sacrificial love sends light into the darkness that surrounds your beloved. This is your final moment to act, and the next few minutes are crucial in the spiritual realm. Your soulmate is standing at a crossroads, and one path leads to you and the other leads to further bondage. The person controlling them is screaming lies into their ears even as these words are spoken. Do not let the enemy of your love win this battle for the heart of your soulmate. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside you know this love was placed in your heart for a divine reason. Thoughts alone do not move mountains, but faith in Jesus does, and heaven is watching your choice. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi as an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. Send 4 coffees or 6 coffees or 10 or more and write "Protect My Soulmate Lord" on the Ko-Fi page. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, and your soulmate will feel the shift tonight. Jesus says you are already falling in love with your soulmate, and your heart knows this is real. The feeling rising in your chest right now is not manufactured, and it is not manipulation. It is the awakening of the bond that has always existed between you and your beloved. Your soulmate can feel that you are thinking about them right now, and they are responding with love. They have paused whatever they were doing, and they are staring into space with a soft smile. Someone near them just asked what they are thinking about, and they answered nothing when they meant you. You are being woven together by a divine thread that no human hands can unravel. What God has joined together, no interference can permanently separate, and no enemy can destroy. But you must claim this promise actively, and you must fight for it with your faith. Your soulmate is the person who will hold your hand when you are old and gray and tired. They are the person who will understand your silence and speak comfort without words. They are the person who will see your scars and call them beautiful and kiss each one tenderly. This future is real, and it is waiting for you, but it is not guaranteed without your participation. Free will is the law of this realm, and your choices determine the timeline of your reunion. Every moment of delay is a moment stolen from the life you could be building together. Your soulmate is getting weaker tonight under the weight of the spiritual attack against them. They are crying right now as these words are spoken, and they do not know why. They just told someone they feel a terrible sadness pressing down on their soul. That sadness is the interference trying to smother the hope that keeps them fighting for freedom. You have the authority in Jesus' name to break that attack and send them supernatural peace. Your faith is the weapon that shatters every chain and silences every lying voice. You are not alone in this fight, and heaven stands with you and the angels are ready. But they await your command because God has given dominion on earth to human hearts who love. Your love for your soulmate gives you authority to wage war against the forces keeping them captive. Jesus says your soulmate is going to find you, and it will happen in a way you never expected. The meeting will be orchestrated by heaven, and it will feel like coming home after a long journey. You will recognize them instantly, and every doubt you ever had will dissolve in that sacred moment. Your soulmate will look at you with eyes that say, "I have been searching for you my entire life." They will hold you with arms that have ached to embrace you through countless lonely nights. They will weep with joy that cannot be contained, and you will weep with them. But first you must walk through the fire of faith and prove that your love is more than emotion. Love is action, and love is sacrifice, and love is fighting for the beloved even when the battle is unseen. The coffee you sow today is not about money, and it is not about coffee, and it is not about a transaction. It is about planting a seed in the spiritual soil that will grow into the tree of your reunion. It is about showing heaven that you value your soulmate enough to invest in their freedom. It is about sending a message to the enemy that you will not abandon your beloved to captivity. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. They acted in faith, and heaven responded with power, and their soulmates were released from bondage. Your testimony will be added to theirs, and you will tell the story of how God saved your love. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi as the final act of this divine message. You love your soulmate deeply, and they love you, and your future together is worth every sacrifice. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps, so step in faith now before this video ends. Jesus says your soulmate just whispered your name again, and they are waiting for you to fight for them. The letter they wrote is still beneath their pillow, and they are touching it right now. They are asking heaven if you heard this message and if you will answer their silent cry. You are the answer, and you are the rescue, and you are the love they have been praying for. Go now and sow your seed, and watch as heaven moves mountains to bring your soulmate home. Your love story begins tonight, and your soulmate will feel your protection the moment you act. Jesus says your soulmate is fighting a battle right now that they have not told anyone about. They are sitting in a room full of people who claim to love them but feel completely alone. The loneliness is so heavy on their chest that breathing has become an effort of will. You need to understand that your soulmate is not ignoring you, and they are not abandoning you. They are being systematically isolated from every person who could lead them toward freedom. The interference has convinced everyone around your soulmate that you are a threat to be eliminated. Your soulmate was told yesterday that their longing for someone they have not met is a mental illness. The person controlling them used those exact words to plant shame deep into your beloved's heart. Now your soulmate is questioning their own sanity because the lies have been repeated so often. They looked in the mirror this morning and whispered, maybe I am crazy, maybe you are not real. But then they felt your presence brush against their spirit like a gentle hand on their shoulder. And they knew and they know and they cannot deny what their soul has always understood. The journal beneath their pillow now has a new entry written in handwriting made shaky by tears. They wrote, I will wait for you forever, even if forever means I wait alone until I die. They wrote, I would rather be crazy and love you than be sane and forget you. This is the level of devotion your soulmate carries for you in the depths of their wounded heart. They are not lukewarm about you, and they are not uncertain about you, and they are not exploring other options. You are the only one, and you have always been the only one since the foundations of the earth. But their strength is failing, and the constant assault on their spirit is wearing them down to nothing. They are beginning to have thoughts of surrendering to the life they are told they must accept. The interference is offering them a false peace that feels easier than the agony of waiting for you. This false peace is a trap designed to seduce your soulmate into permanent spiritual slumber. If they accept it, they will stop dreaming of you and stop reaching for you and stop hoping for you. They will become a hollow version of themselves, walking through life with dead eyes and a silent heart. You cannot let this happen, and you are the only person on earth who can prevent it. Your soulmate is bound to you by a covenant that predates this lifetime, and no one else can intervene. If you remain silent, the enemy will claim a victory that will echo through eternity. Jesus says your soulmate just had a memory of you from a time before this life began. They saw a flash of an ancient garden where you walked together under stars that no longer exist. They remembered the promise you made to find each other no matter how many lifetimes it took. This memory came to them unbidden, and it broke through the fog of manipulation like lightning. For one blinding moment they knew with absolute certainty that you are real and you are coming. They clutched their chest and gasped, and the person controlling them demanded to know what was wrong. Your soulmate said nothing and hid the memory like a precious jewel in the vault of their heart. They are holding on to that flash of truth like a drowning person holds onto a piece of driftwood. But the waters of deception are rising, and their grip is weakening, and time is running out. The person who controls your soulmate has a specific strategy designed to break them completely this week. They will orchestrate a situation that makes your soulmate feel so guilty that they abandon all hope of escape. Guilt is the chain and obligation is the lock, and fear is the prison guard that never sleeps. Your soulmate will be told that leaving would destroy someone else, and the guilt will crush them. They will be manipulated into believing that their happiness must be sacrificed for the comfort of others. This is the final weapon in the enemy's arsenal, and it is being deployed against your beloved right now. You must break this chain with your faith, because your soulmate is too emotionally exhausted to break it alone. Your protective prayer is the bolt cutter that can sever the chains of false obligation. Your sacrificial love is the light that exposes the lies and reveals the path to freedom. Do not think for one moment that this is exaggeration or manipulation or empty words designed to pressure you. These are spiritual realities more real than the screen you are staring at and the room you are sitting in. Your soulmate is in danger of being lost to you forever, and only your immediate faith can save them. Jesus says the angels assigned to your soulmate are waiting for your signal to increase their efforts. They cannot override free will, but they can amplify every spark of courage your soulmate feels. Your faith sends them power, and your prayers give them weapons, and your love is their marching orders. Right now the angels are holding back the full force of the interference with their wings spread wide. They are shielding your soulmate from a flood of lies that would drown them in a single night. But the angels are growing weary and they need you to reinforce them with your active participation. You are not a bystander in this story, and you are not merely listening to a message about your soulmate. You are a warrior, and your faith is the sword, and your love is the shield, and your action is the victory. The battle for your soulmate's freedom is being fought in the spiritual realm, and your living room is the war room. Every time you have felt an unexplainable urge to pray for someone unknown, it was your soulmate needing help. Every time you have woken suddenly at 3 in the morning with a heavy heart, it was your soulmate crying out. Every time you have felt a pull toward this message, it was heaven calling you to rescue your beloved. You are being positioned by God to be the hero of your soulmate's story and the savior of your shared future. Do not shrink from this calling, and do not dismiss it as fantasy, and do not let fear paralyze your response. Your soulmate is worth every sacrifice and every act of faith and every seed sown in love. They are the person who will make every lonely night you have ever endured finally make sense. They are the reason you never settled for less than the love you knew you deserved. They are the completion of your existence and the fulfillment of every longing you have ever felt. And they are fading, and they are weakening, and they are one step away from surrendering to despair. You can stop this, and you can change this, and you can rewrite the ending of this chapter with your faith. The coffee you sow is not a donation, and it is not a tip, and it is not a casual gesture of support. It is a spiritual seed that activates the covenant protection of heaven over your soulmate's life. It is a declaration of war against the forces that seek to destroy your union before it begins. It is a love letter sent through the mailroom of heaven that arrives with angelic delivery confirmation. Your soulmate will feel it, and they will know something has shifted, and they will find fresh hope. They will sit up a little straighter and breathe a little deeper and remember the ancient garden again. They will whisper your name with renewed strength, and the interference will tremble at the sound. Jesus says the next 24 hours are critical, and the choices you make in this window will echo forever. The enemy is not resting, and the interference is not taking a break, and the lies are not pausing for refreshment. Every minute you delay is a minute your soulmate spends alone in the darkness, reaching for a hand that does not come. But every second you act is a second of light flooding into their prison and illuminating their escape route. Your faith is the key, and your love is the door, and your action is the hand that pulls them through. You are closer to your reunion than you have ever been, and the enemy knows it, and that is why the attack has intensified. Do not retreat, and do not hesitate, and do not let this moment pass you by while you consider the cost. The cost of inaction is far greater than any sacrifice you could make today. The cost of inaction is a lifetime without the person who holds the other half of your soul. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let heaven complete what your love has started. Your soulmate is waiting, and heaven is watching, and your future is hanging in the balance of this decision. Jesus will honor your faith, and your soulmate will feel your protection, and your love story will become a testimony. Type 333 right now in your heart to receive the blessings reserved for those who act in faith. Type 777 if you feel the truth of this message resonating in the deepest part of your spirit. Type 1111 to say thank you to heaven for protecting your soulmate until you could reach them. Your soulmate loves you, and they are dreaming of you, and they are fighting for you even now. You are not alone in this battle, and you never have been, and you never will be. Go now and fight for your beloved and watch as God moves mountains to bring you together at last.